And the third way that he actually gets at people and keeps them from Jesus is through hard-heartedness. He hardens your heart. I want to give you a verse of scripture, then I'll talk about this just for a moment. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. You must warn each other how often? Now, if you need to be warned about something every day, would you agree it's pretty serious, right? You must warn each other every day, New Living Translation, while it's still today, so that none of you will be deceived by sin and hardened against God. Do you know how many hardened people are in the world today? It's hard on the inside. It's hard. You can't get through to them. Hard on the inside. Do you know how many Christians, in fact, sadly, have allowed the enemy to harden them? Maybe it's you today. How do you get hardened? You get hardened when you're angry. You get hardened when you're hurt by someone. You get that little callous part of your heart just, well, I'm never going to trust, never going to love again. You get hardened whenever there's an offense that happens in your life in some way. You get hardened when there's a delay that you don't understand, or you're disappointed in some way, and a little hardness happens on the inside of you, and you begin to distance yourself a little bit more from God and trusting God like you used to trust Him. Why? Because I'm not going to trust anymore. Hardness begins to form a callus over your heart. You're not as sensitive to God any longer, and that's one of the ways Satan subtly works in our lives, hardening us with hatred and bitterness and resentment and cynicism and skepticism and all these kinds of things, these isms that get inside of us and just make us hard on the inside. And what hardness does is hardness breeds hardness. Okay? The harder you are, the easier it is to become harder in your life. It breeds it in your life. And before long, you're cut off from the life of God in the way that you need to be. And Satan has driven you away from a relationship with God. There are many people who reject Jesus today all because they've got hardness inside of them.